Hello there, and a very happy Halloween. My name is Swampy, and welcome to my art channel. So today's video is a speed paint video of a digital illustration I did recently for my Patreon. Since it is the month of Halloween, it only seemed appropriate to create an illustration that was themed, by Halloween. Duh. So I wanted to create a scene illustration of a creepy looking scarecrow reading some, old scary stories with his pet raven. And the pet raven, interesting enough, is, it's this type of ravens that I've been drawing recently. I think it's been about a year or something that I've been drawing blind ravens for some reason, and it's my thing. So yeah, I decided why not put that into the illustration. Fits the theme, so it works. Initially, I did want to create a video that included the whole process, meaning I wanted to start recording from the sketching phase so that you guys could see how I was sketching. I think I even started one sketch, and I think in the middle I decided that it wasn't really working, or it wasn't communicating what I wanted it to, so I kind of started all over again. Um, but unfortunately, I was not smart enough to hit recording. But thankfully, I was chatting with a friend at the time who reminded me to record. So here we go, we're starting from the inking. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know that inking is my favorite part. So in the end, we're starting from my favorite part, the inking. Now, returning to the topic of Halloween. Halloween was a holiday that I discovered as a kid because it wasn't a holiday that was actually celebrated here where I come from. We celebrate All Saints' Day, which is celebrated one day after Halloween. And pretty similar to Halloween when you think about it. On All Saints' Day, everybody would go to the cemetery to visit their loved ones, leave out flowers, and light a candle for the spirit. And on their way out of the cemetery, you would always have these candy stands where you can buy a bunch of treats, different kind of treats, and then you would go home, and that evening you would light a candle for all of the spirits. So like Halloween, All Saints' Day, there are a lot of similarities between the holidays, and both holidays actually do have the same origins. But, as time progresses, a lot of holidays change and a lot of traditions change and adapt to the new world. So like I said, Halloween is not a holiday we celebrate here, but ever since I was a kid, I've been celebrating Halloween on my own. The first time I learned about Halloween was actually thanks to Disney because they had I think it was every Friday or Saturday they would have like these movie nights on the Disney Channel. And one year they had Nightmare Before Christmas. And I fell in love with the animation. It was something new, something different, something unique, and it felt so um, beautiful to me that after watching it, after learning about Halloween, I decided that this was a holiday I would love to celebrate. So I started carving pumpkins and getting candy, making masks, and after the whole event of Halloween, the next day I would go to the cemetery with my family and do the traditional stuff for Saints' Day. Now, seeing that Halloween is not a holiday that's celebrated in my country, I never thought that I would get to celebrate it with anybody else. But that didn't stop me from carving a pumpkin and leaving it out every year. And I did buy candy, though I knew that nobody was going to come trick-or-treating because it wasn't something people were doing here. Well, that changed after a few years, and I remember putting up the pumpkin, getting ready to sit down and watch Nightmare Before Christmas, and I hear the doorbell. And I was really confused because it was late at night. Didn't think anybody would be coming, and when I went outside and I saw a trick-or-treater, I was over the moon. I ran inside, got all the candy that I could, that I bought, right? And I just ran outside and I had a 20-minute conversation with a kid, basically talking about his costume. He was a mummy, I think. Yeah, he was a mummy. And it was so cute. And I think I gave him like half of my bowl of candy because I was so excited that somebody actually came to trick or treat. And the next year, the following year, I thought, oh great, we're gonna have a trick-or-treater, at least one trick-or-treater, and that year there were even more. So ever since then, we have had more and more trick-or-treaters every year, and it was so, so cute. And I do remember one year when I moved with my then boyfriend, now husband. We moved to a new house, and I thought to myself, great, now I'll have to start all over again because I didn't know if this neighborhood was, into Halloween, if they knew about it, if they went trick-or-treating. And, but in any case, I prepared, made the pumpkin, got the candy, got the movie ready, got the snacks ready, everything, doing my little rituals, and surely enough, there were trick-or-treaters, and it was awesome. And I do remember one kid that year, there was like a bunch of kids walking with their parents, and the bunch of kids went on walking with the mom, and the dad was kind of holding a little, he was a toddler, I think he was like, I don't know, 2 or 3 or 4 years old, like really little, and he was just holding him on his shoulders, and they were kind of behind the whole group of kids with the masks, and I waited for them because I noticed that they were coming. So I waited for them, and they approached, and the dad just commented to the little kid saying like, okay, what are you supposed to say? And the little kid in English, perfect little English, said, Happy Halloween! And for me it was the most cutest little thing. He wasn't wearing a mask, but it was just so cute. So I ended up giving him the rest of the candy. Since then, we have moved again into a new neighborhood, and as much as I can notice, I don't think there's anybody else who actually celebrates Halloween here. So, unfortunately, this year I did not have any trick-or-treaters. But I'm hopeful, perhaps maybe in the following years, and I'll keep carving my pumpkin and preparing the candy, and hopefully I will have more trick-or-treaters in the future. We'll see. If you have been wondering, the program that I'm using is out of Photoshop. It has been my go-to program for years now when it comes to doing digital illustrations. And often, one of the reasons that I enjoy using it is also the functions of manipulation, meaning that it makes it a lot more easier to do certain things than other programs which are more developed so that it's more natural to draw. But for Photoshop, as it is a program that is developed to manipulate images, it's much easier to do these certain things than it is in other programs. But this heavily depends on what you're accustomed to doing and what your style is. For example, I do like to do a lot of the texture work and pattern work by myself from scratch, like the one that I just did for the chair. And doing it in Photoshop makes it a little bit easier to manipulate into, just drawing one single part of the pattern and then multiplying it, copy pasting it, transforming it, and adapting it to the environment where you want to apply the pattern. So yeah, it feels a little bit more natural, and I've also come to kind of make it into a habit to use, if that makes any sense. You know, when you get accustomed to using something particular, it's hard to not use it anymore, especially if it's a completely different way of working. So yeah, find what works for you, get accustomed to it, and use it. And just because you're using a different program doesn't mean that you can't collaborate with other people. Every program has the ability to export, import, and convert into different formats. So, you know, don't let that stop you. If you want to become a professional just because you're not using Photoshop, shouldn't be the reason why you can't work. So, whatever makes you feel comfortable and whatever helps you produce the best kind of work that you can. That's the most important part. And now that we're slowly wrapping up and finishing up this illustration, a quick reminder, if you would like to support this channel and help me create more videos, or if you would like to get goodies like this illustration every month from me, check out my Patreon. There's the information in the description below. Or if you just want to, hang out and talk or anything like that, there are some also social media stuff in there too. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit tired of talking, so I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the time, and most importantly, thank you for all of your lovely support. Making these videos is pretty fun, and I do have a few more elaborate videos in the future, so any kind of support means a lot. Thank you so much for sticking in this long. Have a happy Halloween, and hopefully I will get to see you back here in 2 weeks. Until then, stay safe and much love.